Welcome to the Downtown Dawgs. My name is Jimmy Rogers, and the gentleman next to me has been called the greatest soccer player to ever come out of the Pacific Northwest. He shares the same rarefied air with Tom Flick and Jack Thompson. The only difference is today's guest was a pioneer of his sport, USA Soccer. It's my honor to introduce the extremely humble soccer superstar, Peter Hattrup. Peter, how are you today?
I'm doing well. It's a pleasure to be here, Jimmy.
Thank you very much for coming. Now, how's your health?
As well as can be expected at my age.
Well, you're 63. You just turned 63 March 31st?
62.
62, okay.
Yeah.
How old were you when you won the national championships? As in plural.
19 and 21.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. And do you have any replacements?
No, I've got a reconstructed ACL, but no replacements.
Okay. Was that your career-ending injury that you experienced?
Well, it wasn't quite career-ending, but it was definitely career-limiting. It
Yeah.
happened when I was 32, so I was...
Yeah.
It cut me out for that season, and I wasn't quite all the way back by the next season. Then by then I was 34, so
Okay.
I hung on for a few more years, but not quite at the same level.
Well, you're looking good.
Hanging in there.
You're looking good. That's most of the battle. Now, you married Heather 2014, is that correct?
Yes.
You got two kids, Carly 29 and Bailey 26?
Yes, I married into a wife, 2 kids, and a dog.
Lucky you.
Insta family.
Now, my girlfriend's got the 3 kids, 4 grandkids, the 3 Shih Tzus, a retriever, and Callie the cat. No, Callie died, so I moved up from 13 to 12. I'm moving up. Now, where did you meet Heather?
Her kids played in the soccer club that I coached in.
Okay. Oh, that's fantastic. Now, you were the greatest scorer in the Seattle Pacific University history. You were a star at Seattle Prep, then becoming a scoring sensation at Seattle Pacific. 2-time national championship with the Falcons. Recently inducted into the SPU Hall of Fame. In 1985, you scored 26 goals in a single season and added 16 assists. You helped lead SPU to a national championship, and in that championship game against FIU, which was Florida International, you scored a goal, assisted another, and earned MVP honors.
I actually got 2 goals in that game,
You
too.
got 2 goals in that game, 1 assist.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many games were in that season, that 1985 season?
23.
So you were averaging at least 1.
Yeah,
Did
just-
you go
just
without
over.
a goal in one game and get 2 plus in a different game?
I had a few where I didn't score in.
That's stupid. Yeah, I bet you that would have been a record.
Yeah, that's in messy year. Messy.
Yeah.
Messy.
Era.
Yeah. It's,
Zip code.
that's a different area.
Yeah, exactly. How many hat tricks did you have in your career?
I'm not sure.
A lot, then.
A few.
More than 10.
Yeah, overall, I mean,
Wow.
I'm still playing a little bit.
When you can't come up with the number on hat trips, that's impressive.
Yeah. Either that or my memory's not as what it used to be.
Either or between the two of us. Now, you were deemed the MVP of the A-League, which was analogous for the sports fans out there to the ABA, to the NBA. Kind of. They were kind of in between leagues.
Yeah, it was just the year before MLS started.
Okay.
So.
But it's a big deal. But most people say A-League.
Yeah.
Never heard of it these days.
No,
right?
I was in a lot of leagues that no longer exist.
Now, your soccer journey took you from the FC Seattle to the Seattle Storm, Tacoma Stars, Atlanta Attack, Kansas City Attack, Milwaukee Wave, and the Seattle Sounders. You won championships, made all-star teams, led leagues in scoring, and represented the United States in futsal, which was a 5-on-5 fast-paced soccer, maybe analogous to arena football.
Yeah, a little bit. It's played on something similar to a basketball court.
Okay.
So there's no boards like there is in.
Still going, no?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. It's still. It's a big deal in a lot of the countries.
Now that's all fine and dandy, but today I want to talk about the moments, where you get your thoughts, your predictions regarding the current World Cup. Because right after this interview, we're going to jump on the light rail to Linwood, and then take the 905 to the Tulalip Casino and lay down and try to double my net worth. What? So let me ask you this question, Peter. When you hear people say you were the best, what does that feel like?
Yeah, it's nice, but it's maybe not that accurate. I was pretty good, but there's been a lot of great players that came out of this area, and it's nice just to be in a conversation.
Very well. Was there a practice, a game, a play, or maybe even a quiet moment by yourself where you said to yourself, this is what I was born to do? And what age was that at, if you can recall?
Yeah, well, It's funny because I've looked at my baby book, and my very first word was catch, and my first sentence was kick the ball.
There it is.
And at one point when I was pretty young, I said I want to grow up to be a soccer player and an attorney, which was following my dad's footsteps. Then later on, I learned that meant more school. I didn't really want to do all the school I was doing at that point.
Was fun.
But so soccer came that point. I think when I was in high school, I played on a men's league team with a bunch of guys that had already contributed to Seattle Pacific's first national championship, and we played some ex-pros and different people. And at that point, I was leading that team in scoring pretty easily, and I was like, yeah, maybe there's a future here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Was it your father, a coach, another teammate? Was it, or maybe one of your soccer heroes that helped shape your game?
George Best and Johan Cruyff, because I thought the game should have some flair and some fun. And I love that, and I love the different amount. My dad was not a coach, but my dad might have had more influence on my game than anybody else, for the simple reason, one, our coaches when we were young didn't really know much soccer,
mm-hmm.
and two, my dad told me at a young age, learn to go left, and he was talking about basketball, so I learned to shoot with my left hand and learned to dribble with my left hand, and then when I played soccer, it just made sense to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that helped my game a lot.
Now, who helped you believe in yourself? Who made you believe in yourself before the rest of the world caught up?
Well, I'd like to say my parents probably, but they're like most parents. I don't know if they weren't objective, but
Maybe
that's okay.
Maybe it was just you.
Yeah, I had a lot of self-belief,
mm-hmm.
partially because when I played other people, I could see where I was in relation to them, and it's like, oh, I seem to be doing all right.
What age was that?
Probably high school.
High school,
yeah. And I started as a freshman in high school.
Because there's a point when you don't ever think about any of those things. You're just playing, and you love what you're doing. And then there's a point when you hit that level when you say, okay, I'm the guy.
Yeah.
I'm the leader. I can do this. Let me show the rest of the other 10 guys.
Yeah. So, I think it really, in my leadership, developed during high school. I was, especially by my later years in high school, I was given a lot of responsibility. Mm-hmm. My coach, who was not a soccer guy per se, but he was a football coach.
So he relied on you.
But he was a great coach.
Gotcha.
Not necessarily a great soccer, but a great coach. And he gave me a lot of responsibility. But with that, he gave me a lot of freedom.
Mm-hmm.
So
now, Pele's bicycle kick. When I first saw that was a big deal. Was that a big deal to you, or was it something you were already performing?
No. I try and leave the acrobatics to other people for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a couple of them in my career. I can't say I've ever scored on a straight over the head bicycle kick in a game, but seeing that and that film that Pepsi put on, A Master and His Method, as a kid. I don't want to admit this, but I think we watched it at O'Day High School. Being a Seattle prep guy, I shouldn't say. But, that was like, opened your eyes to a whole nother level and a whole nother world.
Mm-hmm. So it did affect you.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, did you emulate anyone? You mentioned George Best earlier. I was thinking Pele maybe.
More Best and Cruyff.
His game, though?
A bit.
Tried to emulate?
A bit, yeah.
And can you tell everybody about George Best? Because most people don't know who he is.
Well,
a tragic ending to his life.
Yeah.
But an incredible soccer career.
Unbelievable, dynamic dribbler, good with both feet.
Personality.
Yeah.
Huge
personality on the field.
Kind of a Joe Namath.
Except he was really kind of a quiet guy off the field. And then,
So we had the wrong, and people didn't really know him off the field.
No, and then he had his troubles with drink, and that it made him, as a lot of them are, Maradona's this way, flawed geniuses.
Mm-hmm.
You look, and whether it's
so when soccer's over, it's tough for a lot of people to adapt. Did you have a problem adapting after soccer?
No, I didn't. And one, I stay and still involved in the game. I still coach and I still play.
Okay.
But I saw myself as a person first, and soccer was something I did. It didn't define me, at least for me.
Now, was it a big deal when Pele helicoptered onto the field for his debut for the New York Cosmos in, 1975?
That wasn't the big deal for us. The big deal for us was he was coming to Seattle to play.
Okay.
And we had to stand in line at the inside Memorial Stadium. This was the craziest thing ever. You had to go to the U.S. versus Poland exhibition game and stand in line to get tickets to see Pele when he came. So my brother and I traded off standing in line. One would watch the game and one would stand in line, and we'd switch back and forth until we got to the front and bought tickets. And I actually was fortunate enough to be in the seats right behind the goal, and as Pele came by, when he did finally come, we were able to, I call it shake his hand, more grab onto his arm as he went past.
You saw him up close, though.
Yes. Yeah.
And he had a wonderful message that day that he helicoptered onto the field, and it was all over the news. He had everybody chanting "Love,
Yeah.
love, love." And then there was also the time when Muhammad Ali showed up at his final game.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
And he had that same message
Yes.
as he went off, and that's when he played a half for the Cosmos and a half for Santos.
I didn't know that. So he'd switch jerseys at halftime?
Yep. Yeah.
Interesting. That's a great fact. What was your jersey number, 10?
I wore 10 for a couple of years. I wore 14 for a lot of my life, and I wore 9 for a lot of my life.
Were those numbers significant?
14 was Johan Cruyff.
Okay. 9?
9 was, well, Cruyff wore that when he was Barcelona,
So-
and at the time Marco van Basten was wearing it. So
So it's funny in football, like if you see a Husky wearing number 1, he's got to be all that,
Yeah.
right? In soccer, it was always number 10 when I was growing up.
Yeah.
But because of Pele.
Well, it's funny because I did a little presentation in there before the World Cup of a place, and for people that didn't know a ton, and I think they got too much information at one point, because I think everyone wanted them to, it's like trying to drink from a water hose, and finally I just said, look, don't worry about all this. Enjoy it for the passion and the skill and the artistry, and if you're trying to figure out who the good players are, you're safe bet if you watch number 10, no matter whether it's Pele or Maradona.
So I'm watching these games today, and nobody as yet, I haven't had a chance to watch Portugal, which is, what's his name? And then Ronaldo, and I haven't had a chance to watch Argentina yet, but nobody has jumped off the page to me, okay? So I'm an average soccer fan.
Mbappe has been fantastic for France.
With France, okay.
He won the Golden Boot
Say
as
his
the
name
top.
again?
Mbappe.
Mbappe.
Kylian Mbappe.
Okay.
And he won the Golden Boot as the top scorer in the last World Cup. Had a hat trick in the final.
Okay.
Even though they lost. So he's now on 6 goals after 4 games.
Okay.
Messi's on 6 goals after 3 games, and one of those he just came on for the last 20 minutes. So.
Okay. How about the USA team? Nothing really.
The main striker, Fo Balogun, scored 2 goals in the first game,
Okay.
and then he did not play in the third game. They rested a lot of players.
Okay.
Christian Pulisic was electric in the first game. Then he had a little bit of an injury. He played the last 30 minutes of the last game just to get him back up to speed.
Okay.
He's the danger man. He's the one to watch tonight.
Okay. When you watch the game today, does anybody remind you of yourself?
Not really.
No,
Yeah,
not
I mean-
even the style of play, or
Yeah.
it's just different, huh?
Yeah, the game is. It's so much about, and I think sometimes to a fault, just the athleticism. If I say in what he does, it might be messy, just at so much a higher level.
Yeah.
I mean, it just because not only did he beat people on the dribble, but he's a wonderful passer, and he's a goal scorer. And the guys that play with me now say, yeah, and like you, he walks around a lot. Because I don't do as much running as I should, maybe. But his style of play is so unique to him. His little touches are so quick, and I wouldn't say that was.
I haven't had a chance to watch him in the World Cup.
He is.
And so I'm looking forward. I think tomorrow night we'll get to watch him.
Friday
night?
afternoon.
Friday afternoon.
3
When you
o'clock.
played basketball, did you play any other sports? Baseball?
I played baseball, basketball. We played on the floor hockey team.
Football?
I think that's why we got into soccer. I don't think my dad wanted us playing football.
Smart. Smart man.
No, that was to save our knees, and I think.
Little did he know to save your head.
It didn't help my knees. It didn't help my brother, the skier's knees.
Yeah.
We all had knee replacement. Or my brother had a knee replacement. I just had reconstruction. So.
Now, what was the best play you ever made? Maybe not the one that everybody else saw. Maybe it wasn't a statistic you could put on paper. Maybe it was a pass. Maybe it was a screen, a block kick, a deflection. It was one of those plays when you said to yourself, "I don't know how I just did that."
Yeah, there was a play in my first college playoff game, and it was at Memorial Stadium, and it was a wet, rainy, miserable day in November, as they tend to be, and one of our midfielders, Brad Elmenhurst, crossed the ball to me, and I'm almost not sure it happened, except I can remember it vividly. The ball was slightly behind me in the air, and I caught it on my foot, pulled it around, and dropped it in front of myself, and went in to score. And I'm like, I don't think I could control that ball that way again. If I
So
stood out
behind
there
you in the air, you went up with which foot?
with my right foot,
your right
reached
foot,
behind me
you
and
brought it?
caught it on the top of my foot and turned and just dropped it in front of myself. And I'm like, I think if I stood out there and he kicked me 100 balls, I don't think the same result would be that
I
good.
never teach it.
No, just
Fantastic. Now, every great athlete has both the glory and the ghost. So was there that one play that haunts you, whether it be, for me, it was like against USC. If I could have got that pick six, we could have won a national championship. You know what I mean? One of those plays that still bothers you to this day.
It's weird because we lost the National Amateur Cup when I was 21. And
So you won 19 and 20 and then lost.
no, this is a separate. This is
Okay.
a club competition. There's the National Amateur Cup and U.S. Open Cup.
Okay.
We used to play in both, and I look back and say this was absolutely crazy because they had the regional finals Saturday, Sunday, and we would play Amateur Cup, Open Cup in the same day. And it was in the day of 2 substitutions. And then, so we play 180 minutes on Saturday, turn around and play 180 minutes again on Sunday, a lot of us. We both times we did that, we lost the Open Cup. So we went on nationals in the Amateur Cup, and we were down 2-1, and we had a counterattack, and the guy that I consider the most intrinsically skilled soccer player ever to come out of this area, a guy named Paul Retchless that played at the University of Washington, who was an unbelievable dribbler, great passer, rarely shot. And we were on a 2-on-1, and I'm like, Paul's going to dribble the guy and roll me the ball, and I'm going to tap into the empty net, and we're going to overtime. And for once, he shot and didn't hit the target, and I just couldn't believe it happened because I was like, he never shoots from there.
Your play. This is a teammate.
Yeah,
play.
and it wasn't
Interesting.
And Paul set me up for so many goals, so I can't complain about it at all. And it was just,
Yeah.
I was in shock because from a lot of players, I would expect them to shoot,
Yeah,
but not Paul.
not Paul.
It's coming.
What do you think got into Paul's head?
I don't know. Maybe.
Did you ever talk about it?
No.
Did you ever see him?
Yeah.
So that ended your friendship?
Oh no. Oh no. We still played together for years after that, and I talked to him not that long ago.
But you don't bring that play up.
No,
He might see it.
I never brought it up.
He watches the Downtown Dawgs.
Yeah, I just looked and
Okay,
just like,
Paul. Well, if you want to come on the show, Paul, and give us your
like I
version.
said, he's the most intrinsically skilled player ever from out of here. He had hands for feet.
Okay.
And for him to pull the ball out of the air like I did the one time, wouldn't be a surprise.
Comment, yeah.
He was that good.
Now, my freshman year, I felt like everything was going so fast, and it was analogous to being in war and bullets flying by. And then my junior year, I like to say I became the bullets. What point in your career did you have that experience for starters as a freshman? And then at what point did you become the bullets?
I never had that experience in college.
You never did? You were that good.
I was, well,
It's okay.
I was
Say it,
disappointed. I was
Peter.
disappointed. My very first college game, Cliff had told us the day before I wasn't starting, and so I went to the Police concert at Seattle Center Coliseum that night, and I came on in the second half and scored twice. And Cliff to this day claims it was genius coaching, and I'm like, I would have had a hat trick if you would have started me.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're talking about. In the pros, and I scored on my first ever shot in the pros too, but it was, the pros, it was a different speed.
Okay.
Everything was happening quicker, and
Okay.
and it took me a while.
So you experienced it at a higher level,
Yeah.
at the next level, I should say.
Yeah, and it was,
That's interesting.
and it was,
The superstars, the Tom Flick had the same answers, very similar answers. Same thing with Jack. You know,
Yeah.
they never experienced it as a freshman. Maybe in the pros.
yeah, yeah, and it took a bit because I was not the fastest runner.
Yeah.
I was fast, but I wasn't. So I had to play the game at my speed, and in the pros, it took me a little longer to figure out how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Good answer. Now, did you have what I like to call a Willie Roseborough in your career? And Willie Roseborough, when I was a freshman, he was a junior, I think, but he was big and he was mean looking and he smelled bad. And he was the fullback and he was 6'4", 220. So we had to go against each other in drills, one-on-one. And I'm this 18-year-old kid out of Oregon just going, let's go. Got to do this again every day. And I hated him. I despised him. And here we are 40 years later, and I just love him to death. He's the neatest guy. He's been such a big brother to me, such a good friend. Do you have anybody that you despised as a late teenager, an early 20, 21-year-old, and then here you are in your 60s?
no, I had a few guys that.
You still feel that way about it?
Well, you know what? I was okay playing with them, but I wanted nothing to do with them off the field.
Yeah.
They were teammates.
Yep.
And somebody asked me once, they said, well, what do you mean? And I go,
Right.
I saw he scored. You were the first one over to him. And I go, that's different.
Whole
I said,
completely
but
different.
I have a lot of respect for him as a soccer player.
Sure.
I didn't have a lot of respect for him as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, I chose not to spend any time with him.
A lot of guys don't know how to turn that switch off.
Yeah.
Off the field.
Yeah.
On the field, it's great.
Right.
And the fans love them. But off the field, sometimes there's some bad actors out there. Can you close your eyes and still go back to that place where you could smell the grass, the crowd, the ball at your feet, the defender in front of you, the split second when your instincts took over?
Yeah. I mean, I I play a little bit still, so I still have moments, but the good thing is they're already in slow motion, so we don't have to have instant replays. But and you have little flashbacks to wow, when it meant more.
It looks like you're getting a little worked up thinking about it.
No, not too bad.
No?
No. I mean, it's funny
But you
because
can go there.
I have some thoughts. I mean, I can still remember as a teenager, and we'll go into there's always a little bit of rock and roll in it. As I was dribbling down the field, and I scored on this play, and I think it was probably slightly out loud, singing satisfaction to myself.
I was going to say the Stones.
It's just crazy. I'm like, did that really? Yeah, I did that. I was like, I wonder if the defenders actually could hear me going, what is wrong with this guy?
What's right with him?
Yeah.
What was your greatest soccer accomplishment? Was it the SPU National Championship, the 85 title game MVP, the Sounders Championship, the professional titles, the All-Star selections, or was it something more personal that never showed up in a box score?
It's all the championships, and I can't differentiate between. I mean, the college ones, they were the first ones. The pro ones, a different level. But it's funny, and Cliff said this to us. This title, championship, means as much to us as the World Cup does to somebody else. It doesn't mean as much to the whole world, but and every championship that I was part of felt that way. Like, this is the biggest deal. I know there's not $1 million waiting at the end of it. I know the rest of the world doesn't know, but and you see that same. You watch a high school kid win his state championship,
It's
He
the
feels
world.
the same elation as the guys do winning the World Cup.
That's a great answer, and it sounds like a great, some great insight from Coach Cliff.
Every now and then he got one right.
After all the goals, the championships, the cities, the teams, and the kids you've coached, what does soccer mean to you now?
To me, I feel like I'm a teacher now, and my job is one to show them how to play better soccer, but hopefully to have a positive influence on their life. You know, I'm proudest a lot of the time now when I hear from an ex-player, somebody from the past. I've been to a number of weddings, you know, from kids I used to coach, or I run into somebody and they say, "You made me love the game." And luckily I've never run into anybody that says, "You made me quit the game." So
Right.
that's kind of my goal. You know, it's like, as they say, do no harm. So
USA versus Bosnia tonight. Predictions.
2-0, 2-1 USA. I think this is a game they should win. I think they're the better team.
Can they win the World Cup?
They can. Will they? I think it's going to be. I think they've got a better path than people think. I originally thought to get to the quarterfinals, they're going to have to beat at least one team that's technically better than them. I'm not sure they need to do that now. If they beat Bosnia, you know, and can't.
So
they haven't done it yet.
We're in the knockout,
Yep.
and the next level is
The next, which would be,
the quarter.
no, the next one's the round of 16, which would
So
be.
knockout, round of 16, quarter, semi.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that would be Belgium, Senegal winner. To start the World Cup, I think we would have said Belgium's a better team. But since the World Cup has started, Belgium has not been better than the United States. So maybe now, if they beat them and they get to the quarterfinals, I think it might be Spain. And I think to go through,
To win the whole thing.
well, that would be quarterfinals. So I think to go through Spain, then whoever's next, then, you know.
You don't sound too confident that the U.S. can win it. I mean,
I don't. They're not a favorite.
No,
Can
they're
they
not.
win it? Can you catch lightning in a bottle and be better on that one day? Sure, you can.
well, just for food for thought before we take off to the casino, the $100 on the USA pays to win the World Cup right now pays $3,000. Okay, next, the favorite is France. 100 pays 250. Argentina 100 pays 400. Spain 100 pays 600, and England 100 700. Who's going to win the World Cup, Peter? Our mortgage payments are depending on.
Yeah,
your
well,
answer.
that's a bad investment strategy. I'll tell you that right now.
That's a great answer. Disclaimer.
The heart says the U.S., but I wouldn't be surprised to see a rematch and see France and Argentina play in the final again.
I haven't seen Argentina play yet.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that one.
They're a handful, and it's a rare team, but they have world superstars, all willing to fight and do the dirty work, so 39-year-old Messi can still shine, because he needs the team to play a certain way around him. His play has earned that, and they figured out this is our best chance too. If we can keep getting him the ball and take some of the workload off his legs, it works for all of us. And as you see in other sports, you know, with this whole Jaylen Brown mess with the Boston Celtics, he wants to leave because he wants to be the number one guy in the team.
It's killed the sport.
You know, I've never understood this. I want to have my team. No, I want to be on.
So with that in mind, has the game given you more than you gave it?
Yes. You know, I'm still trying to give back, but the game's given me a living, not a affluent living, but a living in its own way. It's given me my wife and kids and family and
Community.
and hundreds upon hundreds of friends around the world. You know, I hear almost daily now from Edu, who was the youngest player ever on a World Cup roster in 1966. Played with Pele. He was 16 years of age. Then he came and did camps with us up on Whidbey Island, and I hear from him daily, almost little snippets about the World Cup. What do you think of this? And the amount of people that I've met and the relationships. As you get older, you realize that's the most important thing. You miss the locker room sometimes more than you miss the field, because of the guys that you battled with and shared things with. As you got older, it was problems with their families or kids or sicknesses or everything else, that's given me a lot.
What are your daily non-negotiables? Whether it's
Walk the dog.
Okay.
The dog's got to go. He needs his 2 miles or so.
That's one.
I won't say it's a non-negotiable because it gets thrown to the side every now and then. But I still try and get up and do my core workout first thing in the morning before I.
Are you on a mat on the floor? Do you go to the gym, or you just do it?
Just
wake up and
flick on the TV and do some crunches and do some planks and do some push-ups and try and get all that done before I get my first cup of coffee.
Okay. And your go-to song, is it still "Satisfaction" by the Stones?
Probably "Sympathy for the Devil."
First concert.
Devo.
Devo. Where did you see Devo? That's an interesting answer.
I don't know.
I
can't even remember where it was. It was one of these small little places, the
Yeah.
Showbox or the Paramount or whatever.
Oh,
wasn't the Paramount, but
that's amazing.
And it was, my brother was supposed to go and couldn't.
Yeah.
So I went with some of his buddies.
Did you know of them before you went?
I think I'd seen them on Saturday Night Live, and
Yeah.
we weren't sure if it was a skit or the band. They played Satisfaction, that whole "I can't get no," and you're like, "Is this a skit?" And
First movie.
I can't recall. Maybe Herbie the
Jaws.
Love Bug or something.
Yeah, that'd be it. That was a Disney.
Yes.
Somebody else came up with that one. No, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was,
Okay,
was
yeah.
Jack's.
Okay, yeah.
Mine was Jaws. You remember
Yeah.
that one, or True Grit?
Oh yeah, True Grit.
Yeah.
Yep. John Wayne.
Poseidon Adventure. Remember that? Oh my God.
Oh yeah,
I haven't
Charlton
gone-
Heston.
I haven't gone towards the water.
I was saying
since.
one of the most influential was probably Apocalypse Now.
Yeah,
That was a little bit later, but
something. Charlie Sheen. That was amazing. Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen. If you could have one meal, what would it be?
Oof. Probably still a good steak.
Okay. Is Kevin O'Keefe your favorite teammate of all times?
No, he's the worst.
He's the worst. Do you have advice for the next generation?
Are we talking playing? Or are we talking life?
I think both, really.
Yeah, I think enjoy. I mean, it's. I think, and I was super competitive as a player. I was a terrible loser. My dad used to give my girlfriend money after I lost, with instructions to take me out and not bring me home until they were in bed and asleep, because he didn't want to talk to me.
Wow.
And at one point I asked her, I go, "Am I still that bad?" And she goes, "No." And I go, "Well, don't tell my dad. If he's going to keep financing our dates, well, But it's supposed to be fun. The playing of the game should always be fun. The result shouldn't always be fun. You should care about winning and losing as a player, but the playing of the game should always be fun, and living life should always be fun. I think the financial part, the K gives you a little freedom, but I think too many people spend so much time trying to take care of the financial part that they're not enjoying their life. The quality of life is more important than the amount of money in your bank account.
Any regrets?
Yes and no. I mean, things could have done differently maybe, but they all helped get me to where I ended up. If I would have taken a different path, who knows? Maybe I wouldn't be where I am now and wouldn't have the same family or the same things. I mean, never representing the U.S. at full international level is a regret. But it's the way it was.
It's refreshing to hear that, because so many people say no regrets, and I'm full of regrets.
Oh yeah, I've got things that.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, as I tell kids, you more often regret things you didn't do than regret things you did do. I mean, sometimes we do say, oh, I wish I could, but there's a lot of, I wish I would have taken that chance. I wish I would have gone and done that. You know, I wish I would have traveled a little bit more when I was younger. You know, all the travel I did was because of soccer.
I was going to say.
And it was great.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, I remember telling somebody, I go, I can't remember the last time I was on a trip that didn't involve soccer.
Right, practice. And
you know, or coaching, or
Right.
going. I mean, I went to New Zealand to watch a former player play in the Under-17 World Cup. But it was still a soccer. I mean,
Right,
I didn't have to do any soccer. I just got to travel around and enjoy myself.
Sure.
But,
sure.
you know, so soccer gave me a lot too. You know, it let me see the world.
When you arrive at the pearly gates, what would you like to hear St. Peter say?
You were kind. You know, I don't think there's much more I could do.
Fantastic. From the heart of Seattle, my name is Jimmy Rogers. This is Peter Hattrup. Together, we are the Downtown Dawgs. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Peter.
Always a pleasure.